The Galactic Council's emergency session buzzed with nervous energy as holographic displays showed the impossible readings. Admiral Zektar of the Hegemony Navy stood before the assembled representatives, his forearms gesturing at the tactical display with barely controlled panic. The vessel appeared 3 hours ago at the edge of the Kepler Nebula, Zektar announced, his voice carrying through the chamber's translation matrix. Our long-range sensors detected it emerging from what appears to be a previously unknown form of faster-than-light travel. Counselor Vexhai, a crystalline being whose species had mastered space travel for over 50,000 years, chimed with disbelief. Unknown FTL technology? Impossible. The Galactic Survey has cataloged every species capable of interstellar flight. There are no undiscovered civilizations with such capabilities. The Admiral's expression darkened as he manipulated the holographic controls. The display zoomed in on a sleek vessel unlike anything in the galactic databases. Its hull appeared to be composed of an unknown metallic compound that seemed to absorb and reflect light in ways that defied conventional understanding of material science. The ship measures approximately 800 meters in length, Zektar continued. Its energy signature is completely foreign to our detection systems. More concerning, it appears to be scanning our border stations with technology that penetrates our military-grade shielding as if it doesn't exist. Murmurs of concern rippled through the assembly. The Galactic Council represented 47 different species, each contributing their technological expertise to maintain peace and order across thousands of star systems. The idea that an unknown civilization could possess technology superior to their combined knowledge was unthinkable. High Magistrate Quill ORM, whose species had served as the Council's primary diplomats for millennia, raised a tentacle for attention. Have we attempted to establish communication with this vessel? All standard greeting protocols have been transmitted, Zektar replied. Universal mathematical sequences, prime number patterns, even basic pictographic representations. The vessel acknowledges our transmissions, but responds only with what our linguists describe as impossibly complex data streams that appear to contain more information than our computers can process. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. For over 100,000 years, the Galactic Council had maintained its position as the supreme authority in this region of the galaxy. Their technology, refined through millennia of cooperation between dozens of species, was considered the pinnacle of scientific achievement. The appearance of a single ship that could potentially challenge that supremacy was more than unexpected. It was terrifying. Counselor Thexura, representing the military caste of the Dominion Empire, spoke with the authority of someone who had conquered 17 star systems. What are the vessel's apparent intentions? Has it made any aggressive moves toward our territories? That's where the situation becomes more complicated, Zektar admitted. The ship has maintained position at the nebula's edge, but our analysis suggests it's not merely observing. It appears to be conducting some form of detailed survey of our space, cataloging the positions and capabilities of every military installation within a 50 light-year radius. The revelation sent shockwaves through the assembly. The border region contains some of the Council's most heavily fortified positions, including the massive Titan station that served as the headquarters for the Fifth Fleet. The idea that an unknown vessel could scan their defenses so thoroughly was a security nightmare of unprecedented proportions. Furthermore, the Admiral continued, our attempts to conduct passive scans of the vessel have yielded disturbing results. The ship appears to be equipped with weapon systems that our computers cannot identify, but energy readings suggest destructive capabilities far exceeding anything in our current arsenal. High Magistrate Quillorem's chromatophores shifted to deep purple, indicating extreme concern. What classification of threat are we dealing with? Are we looking at a scout ship from a hostile civilization preparing for invasion? Unknown, Zektar replied grimly. But based on the technological capabilities we've observed, if this represents the standard level of advancement for their civilization, our combined fleets would be severely outmatched in any direct confrontation. The chamber erupted in heated discussions as representatives conferred with their respective governments through quantum communication links. The carefully maintained peace of the galactic community suddenly seemed fragile in the face of this new, unknown variable. Counselor Drakesh, whose species prided itself on military superiority, slammed a massive fist against his console. This is intolerable. No single vessel should be able to threaten the stability of our carefully constructed order. I propose we dispatch a full battle group to intercept and board this ship. If they refuse to submit to inspection, we destroy them as an example to any other would-be challengers. That would be extremely inadvisable, Zektar warned. Our preliminary assessments suggest that this vessel could potentially destroy an entire battle group without sustaining significant damage. We need to approach this situation with extreme caution. The debate that followed revealed the deep divisions within the Council. The younger, more aggressive species pushed for immediate military action, viewing the unknown ship as a direct challenge to their authority that required a swift and decisive response. The older, more established civilizations urged patience and careful study, recognizing that they might be dealing with technology beyond their current understanding. As the hours passed, intelligence reports continued to flow in from the frontier. The mysterious vessel had begun moving deeper into Council space, maintaining its systematic scanning pattern while ignoring increasingly urgent demands for identification and compliance with galactic law. The ship has now passed 7 of our border checkpoints, reported Intelligence Director Vorthike. Each time, it broadcasts what appears to be a polite acknowledgement of our presence before continuing on its course. Our Xenolinguistics department believes the transmissions might contain formal diplomatic greetings, but the mathematical complexity of their language makes translation extremely difficult. High Magistrate Quill ORM considered this information carefully. Are we certain this is a hostile action? Perhaps this civilization is attempting to establish diplomatic contact, but lacks familiarity with our protocols. Diplomatic contact doesn't typically involve penetrating classified military installations with advanced scanning technology, Counselor Drakesh growled. This is clearly a reconnaissance mission preparing for military action. The argument was interrupted by an urgent alert from the communications array. The mysterious vessel had transmitted a new message, and this time, the universal translators had managed to parse enough of the content to provide a partial translation. The main display flickered as the decoded message appeared in the common galactic script. Greetings to the governmental body of this stellar region. We are representatives of the United Earth Federation. We have observed your civilizations from a distance and seek to establish formal diplomatic relations. We request permission to approach your primary governmental facility to present credentials and discuss mutual cooperation. The chamber fell completely silent as the implications of the message sank in. This wasn't a scout ship from a hostile alien empire. It was a diplomatic vessel from a completely unknown human civilization calling itself the United Earth Federation. Humans. Counselor Vexhi's crystalline structure resonated with confusion. There are no humans in our galactic databases. The species designation doesn't match any known biological classification. Admiral Zektar pulled up the xenobiology reports. Our scanners have detected carbon-based life forms aboard the vessel, but the biological signatures are unlike anything we've encountered. If these humans represent a previously unknown species, their technological advancement is extraordinary for a civilization we've never cataloged. The political ramifications were staggering. The Galactic Council's authority was based on the premise that they represented all advanced civilizations in this region of the galaxy. The existence of an unknown species with technology that potentially exceeded their own called into question everything they thought they knew about the balance of power in their corner of the universe. We need more information, High Magistrate Quill ORM decided. Dispatch a diplomatic vessel to establish formal contact, but maintain a full battle group at maximum readiness. If this is some form of deception or trap, we must be prepared to respond with overwhelming force. As the council session concluded, none of the representatives could have imagined that their first contact with humanity would reshape the political landscape of the galaxy in ways that would echo through history for thousands of years to come. The human ship continued its steady approach toward the council's core systems, its crew unaware that their arrival had already triggered the largest military mobilization in galactic history. Behind them, hidden within the depths of the Kepler Nebula, 3 more human vessels maintained position, their advanced stealth systems rendering them completely invisible to the Council's most sophisticated sensors. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test the limits of both civilizations and determine whether the galaxy was large enough for both the established order and humanity's relentless drive to explore the stars. Captain Sarah Chun stood on the bridge of the UEF Defiant, watching the alien fleet formations appear on her tactical display like pieces on a 3-dimensional chessboard. Her 23 years of service in the Earth Federation Navy had prepared her for many scenarios, but first contact with a potentially hostile galactic civilization wasn't covered in the standard operating manual. Captain, we're receiving another transmission from what appears to be their lead diplomatic vessel, reported Lieutenant Commander Marcus Rodriguez from the communication station. Their translation algorithms are getting better. I'd say we're up to about 70% comprehension now. Sarah nodded, her dark eyes reflecting the blue glow of the holographic displays surrounding her command chair. Put it through, and make sure our response protocols are set to maximum diplomatic courtesy. We're representing all of humanity out here. The main view screen flickered as an alien face appeared, elongated features with 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern, and skin that seemed to shift between different shades of blue and green. When the creature spoke, the universal translator rendered its words in clear English with only slight delays. Unknown vessel identifying as United Earth Federation. I am High Diplomat Gexmara of the Galactic Council. You have entered sovereign space under the protection of 47 allied civilizations. We acknowledge your stated peaceful intentions, but your advanced scanning of our military installations has caused considerable concern among our member species. Sarah gestured to Rodriguez, who activated the response transmission. High Diplomat Gexmara, this is Captain Sarah Chun of the United Earth Federation vessel Defiant. We apologize if our standard sensor sweeps have been interpreted as aggressive actions. Our protocols require us to maintain situational awareness for the safety of our crew, but we have no hostile intentions toward your people. There was a pause as the message was transmitted across the void. During the delay, Sarah's tactical officer, Commander Lu Wei, leaned closer to her chair. Captain, those formations are building around us aren't exactly welcoming committees, Lu whispered. I'm counting at least 40 vessels, including what appear to be heavy cruisers and battleships. Their technology is impressive, but our analysis suggests we maintain significant advantages in several key areas. Sarah kept her expression neutral. The Defiant was indeed a formidable vessel, representing the latest in human military technology. Humanity's relatively recent entry into space had been driven by necessity and innovation in equal measure. While these aliens had clearly been spacefaring for millennia, humans had developed their technology under the pressure of limited resources and constant conflict, creating solutions that prioritized efficiency and adaptability over tradition. The reply came back faster than expected. Captain Chun, our records contain no reference to humans or the United Earth Federation. Where did your species originate? And how did you develop faster-than-light travel without our knowledge? Sarah exchanged glances with her science officer, Dr. Elena Vasquez, who had been studying the alien vessel's energy signatures since the first encounter. Captain, their question reveals something interesting. They seem to believe they have comprehensive knowledge of all spacefaring species in this region. That level of confidence suggests they've been the dominant power here for a very long time. Which means they're not used to surprises, Sarah mused. She activated the transmission again. High Diplomat, humanity originated from a planet called Earth, located approximately 40,000 light-years from your current position. We developed our FDL technology through our own research and have been exploring this region to establish peaceful contact with other civilizations. The response came back with obvious agitation in the alien diplomat's voice. 40,000 light-years? That places your origin point well beyond the explored regions of the galaxy. No species has ever developed the capability for such extended deep space exploration without decades of contact and technological exchange with the Council. Commander Liu pulled up a holographic display showing the relative positions of known human colonies and exploration routes. Captain, they really don't know about the expansion program. They have no idea that humanity has been spreading across the galaxy for the past 2 centuries. The expansion program represented humanity's greatest achievement and most closely guarded secret. Unlike the aliens, who appear to have developed space travel gradually through cooperation between different species, humanity had been forced to develop rapid colonization technology in response to Earth's environmental crisis. The result was a network of human colonies spread across vast distances, connected by jump drives that could cover distances these aliens apparently considered impossible. Captain Shun, came another transmission from the alien diplomat. The Council requires that you submit to a full inspection of your vessel's technology and provide detailed information about your civilization's capabilities and intentions. This is standard protocol for all unknown species entering Council space. Sarah felt her jaw tighten. The demand was clearly non-negotiable from the aliens' perspective, but submitting to inspection would reveal human technological capabilities that Earth Command had specifically classified as confidential. More importantly, it would establish a precedent that humanity was subject to alien authority, which contradicted her direct orders to maintain Earth's independence in any first contact scenario. High Diplomat Gexmara, she replied carefully. While we appreciate the Council's security concerns, the United Earth Federation maintains the sovereign right to protect our technological data and classified information. We're happy to share general information about our peaceful intentions and engage in diplomatic exchanges, but we cannot submit to involuntary inspections of our vessels or technology. The silence that followed was longer than the previous delays. When the response came, the alien's tone had shifted noticeably. Captain Shun, you appear to misunderstand your situation. The Council represents the governing authority for this entire region of the galaxy. No species operates independently within our sphere of influence. Compliance with our inspection protocols is not optional. Dr. Vasquez looked up from her sensor station with concern. Captain, I'm detecting significant energy buildups across their fleet. They're powering up what appear to be weapons systems. Sarah activated the ship-wide communication system. All hands, this is the captain. We have entered a potentially hostile situation with alien forces. All departments are to maintain condition yellow alert status. Stand by for possible tactical maneuvering. She then turned back to the communications array. High Diplomat, the United Earth Federation does not recognize external authority over our vessels or crew. We came here in peace, but we will defend ourselves if threatened. I strongly urge you to reconsider any aggressive action. The alien's response came with unmistakable menace. Captain Shun, you have 1 human hour to comply with our inspection demands or face the consequences of your defiance. The Council has maintained order in this galaxy for over 100,000 years. We will not allow one unknown species to challenge our authority. Sarah cut the transmission and turned to her senior staff. Opinions. Commander Liu was the first to speak. Captain, their fleet positioning suggests they're preparing for a coordinated attack, but their formations are outdated. They're using traditional line-of-battle tactics that were abandoned by human forces over a century ago. If it comes to a fight, our mobility and targeting systems should give us significant advantages. Dr. Vasquez nodded in agreement. Their technology is sophisticated but appears to be designed for fighting opponents with similar capabilities. Our sensor analysis suggests they've never encountered adaptive countermeasures or multidimensional tactical systems. What about their numbers advantage? Sarah asked. Irrelevant if we can control the engagement parameters, Lou replied confidently. The Defiant was designed to operate independently against superior numbers. Plus, we have assets they don't know about. Sarah smiled grimly. The 3 stealth ships hidden in the nebula were equipped with the latest human military technology, including weapons systems that could potentially neutralize entire fleets. But revealing their presence would also reveal the extent of human military capabilities, something Earth Command preferred to keep secret until absolutely necessary. Captain, Rodriguez interrupted, we're receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command. They've been monitoring our situation through the quantum communication link. The secure channel crackled to life with the voice of Admiral Harrison, Sarah's superior officer and head of the Exploration Division. Captain Chun, you are authorized to take whatever action necessary to protect your crew and maintain Earth's independence. The Federation will not submit to alien authority, regardless of their claims of galactic dominance. Sarah felt a surge of confidence. She had clear orders and a capable crew, and humanity had not survived the challenges of interstellar expansion by backing down from threats. Rodriguez, open a channel to the alien fleet, she commanded. All vessels, this is Captain Chun of the UEF Defiant. The United Earth Federation hereby rejects your authority over our ships and crew. Any attack on this vessel will be considered an act of war against humanity and will be met with appropriate force. You have been warned. As the transmission ended, Sarah settled back in her command chair. Around her, the crew moved with practiced efficiency, preparing the ship for combat. None of them knew they were about to participate in the first battle of what historians would later call the Galactic War, a conflict that would reshape the political structure of the entire galaxy. The alien fleet began moving into attack formation, their commanders confident that their overwhelming numbers would quickly crush this single defiant human vessel. They had no way of knowing that humanity had spent the last 2 centuries perfecting the art of warfare against impossible odds, or that the seemingly isolated ship before them was about to demonstrate exactly why humans had earned their place among the stars. The first alien shots lit up space like deadly fireworks, but by the time the energy beams reached the Defiant's last known position, Captain Chin's ship was already 3,000 kilometers away and accelerating. The human vessel moved with an agility that defied the aliens' understanding of physics, dancing between their formations like a fighter jet among flying bricks. Evasive pattern Delta 7, Sarah commanded, gripping her command chair as the ship executed a series of rapid directional changes that would have been impossible for any alien vessel in the attacking fleet. Lou, target their command ship's weapons arrays. I want them disabled, not destroyed. Targeting solutions locked, Commander Lou reported from his tactical station, firing quantum pulse torpedoes. The weapons that streaked away from the Defiant bore no resemblance to anything in the aliens' technological arsenal. Instead of brute force energy weapons designed to overwhelm shields, the human torpedoes carried sophisticated payloads that analyzed and adapted to their targets in real time. They struck the alien command ship's weapons systems with surgical precision, leaving the vessel intact but completely disarmed. High Admiral Vorthe K, aboard the Council flagship, couldn't believe what his sensors were telling him. How is that ship moving so fast? Our gravimetric sensors show acceleration forces that should have crushed any biological crew into paste. His tactical officer, a multi-limbed creature whose species had designed the fleet's combat systems, worked frantically at his console. Admiral, their inertial compensation technology is beyond anything we've encountered. They're pulling 17G forces through those turns, but bioscanners show no distress among their crew. The human ships suddenly vanished from their sensors entirely, reappearing 2 seconds later directly above their formation and unleashing a devastating barrage that disabled 6 more vessels in as many seconds. The precision was terrifying. Every shot found its mark, every hit disabled rather than destroyed, and Every maneuver seemed to anticipate the aliens' tactical responses before they could even execute them. This is impossible. Vorta croaret. No single vessel can engage an entire fleet. Bring all squadrons to bear on that ship. But the more ships that engaged the Defiant, the more obvious it became that the aliens were fighting an enemy that operated by completely different rules. Their formations, perfected over millennia of warfare against opponents using similar technology, were useless against a ship that could change direction at will and strike from any angle without warning. Aboard the Defiant, Dr. Vasquez monitored the alien communications channels with growing amazement. "Captain, their coordination is breaking down. They're not trained to fight an enemy with this level of mobility. Their commanders are issuing contradictory orders because their tactical doctrine doesn't account for three-dimensional combat." Sarah nodded grimly. Humanity's approach to space warfare had been shaped by their origin as a planet-bound species that had fought countless wars in three-dimensional environments. While the aliens had evolved their tactics from naval warfare in two-dimensional planes, humans had always thought of space as an ocean of possibilities rather than a flat battlefield. "Captain," Rodriguez called out urgently, "I'm detecting massive energy buildups from 3 of their heavy cruisers. They're charging what appear to be planet-killer weapons." Sarah's expression hardened. The alien fleet had just escalated from attempted law enforcement to potential genocide. "Lou, are our stealth assets in position?" "Standing by for your orders, Captain," Lou confirmed. Sarah hesitated for only a moment. Revealing the hidden fleet would change everything, but the aliens had just demonstrated their willingness to use weapons of mass destruction against a single ship that had been trying to avoid casualties. "Signal the Ghost Fleet," she commanded. "Execute Operation Thunderbolt." The space around the alien formation suddenly erupted with new energy signatures as 3 human ships materialized from apparently empty vacuum. The UEF Phantom, Spectre, and Wraith had been watching the engagement while cloaked, their advanced stealth technology rendering them completely invisible to alien sensors. The appearance of 3 more human vessels caught the alien fleet completely off guard, but what happened next shattered their understanding of warfare itself. The newly arrived ships opened fire with weapons that seemed to bend the laws of physics, their projectiles appearing to teleport directly through alien shields and armor to strike vital systems with impossible accuracy. Admiral Vorthe watched in horror as half his fleet was disabled in less than 30 seconds. "What kind of weapons are those? They're bypassing our shields entirely." His science officer's voice shook with disbelief. "Admiral, they appear to be using some form of quantum tunneling technology. Their weapons exist in multiple dimensional phases simultaneously, allowing them to strike targets regardless of conventional defensive measures." The 4 human ships moved in perfect coordination, their tactical formation shifting and adapting to counter every move the alien fleet attempted. When the aliens concentrated their fire, the humans scattered and attacked from multiple vectors. When they tried to retreat, the humans herded them like wolves hunting prey. "Surrender," came a transmission from the Defiant. "Your fleet is outmatched. Stand down your weapons and prepare to receive our diplomatic representatives." Admiral Vorthe's pride warred with his tactical sense. His fleet represented the finest military technology that 47 civilizations could produce, and it was being systematically dismantled by 4 ships from a species he'd never heard of 12 hours ago. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we've lost 60% of our offensive capability. Our remaining vessels are taking damage faster than our repair systems can compensate. If this engagement continues, we'll lose the entire fleet." The admiral stared at the tactical display, watching human ships dart between his formations like predators playing with wounded prey. Every principle of galactic warfare he'd learned over his long career was being proven worthless against an enemy that fought like no one they'd ever encountered. But pride, especially the pride of a species that had dominated the galaxy for millennia, dies hard. "All ships, implement Protocol 7. Overload our reactor cores and ram those human vessels." If we can't defeat them conventionally, we'll take them with us. The order sent shockwaves through the alien fleet. Protocol 7 was a suicide tactic reserved for the most desperate situations, designed to deny the enemy victory even at the cost of total annihilation. Captain Chun received the intelligence intercept just as the first alien ship began its kamikaze run. "They're going for mutual destruction," Dr. Vasquez reported urgently. "Reactor core overloads across their fleet." Sarah's mind raced through the options. Destroying the entire alien fleet would certainly eliminate the immediate threat, but it would also announce to the galaxy that humanity was willing to commit genocide rather than accept surrender. That wasn't the message Earth Command wanted to send. "Lou, can we disable their reactor cores before they overload?" "Negative, Captain. Too many ships, too little time." Sarah made a decision that would be studied in military academies for centuries to come. "All ships, implement quantum dampening fields. Full power to gravitational manipulation systems. We're going to contain their explosions." What happened next had never been attempted in the history of galactic warfare. The 4 human ships surrounded the alien fleet and activated technology that the Council scientists would have declared theoretically impossible. Instead of allowing the alien ships to explode and take the humans with them, the quantum dampening fields contained the energy releases, channeling the destructive force into harmless radiation that dissipated into space. When the light faded, the alien fleet was gone, but instead of debris and destruction, there was only empty space and for undamaged human vessels. The aliens had been transported, intact and unharmed, to a safe distance where their reactor overloads could be safely aborted. Admiral Vorthake found himself staring at readings that made no sense. His entire fleet had been moved 40,000 kilometers in an instant, their suicide attack neutralized without a single shot being fired. The human ships hung in space where the Council fleet had been moments before, their formations perfect, and their weapons powered down. "This is Captain Chun," came a transmission on all frequencies. "Admiral, your fleet has been relocated to prevent unnecessary casualties. We've demonstrated that continued resistance is futile. Are you prepared to discuss terms?" For the first time in his long military career, Admiral Vorthake felt what humans called humility. His enemy had possessed the power to destroy him and his entire fleet, but had instead chosen to save them. The implications of facing an opponent with that level of technological superiority and moral restraint were staggering. "Captain Chun," he replied, his voice heavy with defeat, "I surrender my fleet to your custody. But I must warn you, this engagement has been monitored by the Council's deep space arrays. Within hours, every military force in the galaxy will know of your capabilities. You've just declared war on 47 civilizations." Sarah's response was calm and confident. "Admiral, humanity didn't come here to conquer or destroy. We came to find neighbors and allies among the stars. But we will not submit to alien authority or allow others to dictate our destiny. If your Council chooses war, they'll discover that humans have survived worse odds than 47-1. As the human ships took position around the defeated alien fleet, none of the participants could have imagined that this engagement was just the opening move in a conflict that would ultimately reshape the galaxy. The age of unchallenged alien dominance was over, and humanity's arrival among the stars would force every civilization to reconsider their place in the cosmic order. 3 months after the Battle of Kepler Nebula, the Galactic Council's emergency war session convened on Nexus Prime, the heavily fortified capital world that had served as the center of alien civilization for over 50 millennia. The Grand Assembly Hall, designed to accommodate representatives from 47 different species, had never hosted a gathering with such grim purpose. High Magistrate Korem's chromatophores displayed deep crimson patterns of distress as he addressed the assembled War Council. "The situation has deteriorated beyond our worst projections. In the 3 months since first contact, these humans have established diplomatic relations with 17 of our member species, and 12 of those have formally withdrawn from Council authority. The revelation sent shockwaves through the Assembly. The Galactic Council's power had always been based on unanimous cooperation between member species, maintained through a combination of mutual benefit and the implied threat of overwhelming military force. The idea that member civilizations would voluntarily abandon the Council was unprecedented. Councillor Drakesh, whose species had contributed the largest portion of the Council's military forces, slammed his massive fist on the podium. Treason. These species have enjoyed the protection and prosperity of Council membership for thousands of years. How dare they abandon their obligations for promises from an unknown alien species? Because the humans offered them something we never have, replied Councillor Vexhai, her crystalline structure resonating with bitter irony. Choice. The word hung in the air like an accusation. For all their technological advancement and cultural sophistication, the Council species had built their civilization on a foundation of hierarchical authority. Species joined the Council not as equals, but as junior members who gradually earned status through decades of compliance and contribution. The humans had done something unthinkable. They had offered immediate partnership to any species willing to accept it. Admiral Zektar activated the holographic display, showing the current military situation across Council space. The strategic picture is dire. The humans have established what they call embassy stations in 15 star systems, each one protected by a small fleet of their vessels. Our attempts to blockade or assault these positions have resulted in 17 military defeats and the loss of over 300 ships. How is that possible? Demanded General Krexlon, the Council's supreme military commander. We have 12,000 vessels under arms, including the most advanced warships our combined civilizations can produce. Because we're fighting an enemy that doesn't play by any rules we understand, Zektar replied grimly. Their ships appear and disappear at will, their weapons ignore our shields and armor, and their tactical coordination suggests a level of quantum communication that allows instant coordination across interstellar distances. Dr. Nethera, the Council's chief xenotechnology analyst, had been studying captured human equipment for months. Her report made for sobering reading. The technological gap between our civilizations is larger than we initially estimated. Their smallest scout ships carry technology that exceeds our most advanced research vessels. More concerning, their technology appears to be modular and adaptive. They can reconfigure their ship's capabilities in real time to counter any threat. The Assembly fell silent as the implications sank in. The Council's technological advantage had been the cornerstone of their authority for millennia. The discovery that another species not only matched, but exceeded their capabilities called into question everything they believed about their place in the galaxy. What about their numbers? Asked Councillor Thexera. Surely a single species cannot match the combined population of our 47 worlds? Dr. Nethera's expression darkened. Our intelligence estimates suggest the humans control at least 200 star systems, with a total population exceeding 50 billion individuals. They're not a single species from one world. They're a spacefaring civilization that has been expanding across the galaxy for over 2 centuries. The revelation hit the Assembly like a physical blow. For over 100,000 years, the Council had believed themselves to be the galaxy's dominant civilization, unaware that humanity had been quietly building an empire that potentially dwarfed their own. How do we not know? Whispered High Magistrate Quilorem. Our deep space surveys, our exploration fleets. How did they miss an empire of that magnitude? Because the humans wanted it that way, Admiral Zektar replied. They've been watching us for decades, maybe longer. Their first contact wasn't the beginning of their exploration. It was the moment they decided to reveal themselves. Captain Sarah Chun, now promoted to Admiral and serving as humanity's chief diplomatic representative, stood before the Council's assembly for the first time since the initial confrontation. Her presence in the heart of alien civilization sent a clear message. Humanity was no longer hiding in the shadows. "Honorable representatives," she began, her words translated into dozens of alien languages simultaneously, "I stand before you not as a conqueror, but as someone hoping to prevent a war that will benefit no one." Her calm confidence was more unsettling to the alien delegates than any threat could have been. This human woman showed no trace of intimidation despite being surrounded by representatives of 47 hostile civilizations in the heart of their most secure stronghold. "You speak of preventing war while your species corrupts our member civilizations with promises of independence," accused Counselor Drakesh. "You undermine our authority and threaten the stability that has maintained galactic peace for millennia." Sarah's smile was diplomatic but carried an edge of steel. "Counselor, what you call corruption, we call freedom of choice. What you term undermining authority, we call offering alternatives. The species that have allied with humanity haven't been corrupted. They've been liberated." "Liberated from what?" demanded High Magistrate Quill ORM. "From the assumption that there is only one way to organize galactic civilization," Sarah replied. "Your council has achieved many remarkable things, but it has also stagnated. For thousands of years, you've maintained the status quo through force and intimidation. The species that have joined the Human Federation have done so because we offer them something you cannot, the opportunity to grow and evolve without asking permission. The debate that followed revealed fundamental differences in philosophy that went far beyond mere politics. The council species had built their civilization on the principle of collective authority, where individual species submitted to the greater good as defined by the established hierarchy. Humanity offered a radically different model based on voluntary cooperation between equals, where each species maintained sovereign control over their own destiny. "Your federation is chaos waiting to happen," argued Counselor Vex High. "Without central authority, how do you maintain peace? How do you coordinate resources? How do you prevent conflicts between member species?" Sarah's response demonstrated just how different human thinking was from the alien mindset. "We don't prevent conflicts, Counselor. We resolve them through negotiation, arbitration, and sometimes controlled competition. Our strength comes not from enforced unity, but from diversity working toward common goals." "And what happens when negotiation fails?" pressed Admiral Zektar. Sarah's expression grew serious. "Then we solve the problem the way humans always have, through innovation, determination, and the willingness to fight for what we believe is right. But unlike your council, we don't fight to maintain control. We fight to protect freedom." The session continued for hours, but it became increasingly clear that no diplomatic solution was possible. The philosophical gulf between the two civilizations was simply too vast to bridge through negotiation alone. As Sarah prepared to leave, High Magistrate Quill ORM made one final attempt at compromise. "Admiral Chun, surely there must be some way to avoid the destruction that war will bring. Your species is impressive, but you cannot seriously believe you can defeat the combined forces of 47 civilizations." Sarah paused at the chamber's entrance, her words carrying the weight of absolute conviction. "High Magistrate, humanity has never backed down from a fight when the stakes mattered. We've faced extinction, environmental collapse, resource wars, and the challenge of interstellar expansion. Each time, we found a way to not just survive, but thrive." She looked around the assembly, meeting the eyes of representatives from dozens of different species. "You see 47 civilizations united against one. We see 47 civilizations that have forgotten how to grow, how to adapt, how to dare greatly. If you choose war, you'll discover that humans don't just fight to win. We fight to transform everything we touch." As the human admiral departed, leaving the council to contemplate their options, her final words echoed through the chamber with prophetic force. The galaxy stood at a crossroads between the security of ancient order and the chaos of unlimited possibility. Within days, the council would vote for total war against humanity, convinced that their overwhelming numbers and technological heritage would ensure swift victory. They could not have imagined that humanity's response would not just defeat their forces, but would ultimately transform the galaxy itself, creating a new order where freedom of choice became the foundation of interstellar civilization. The age of galactic empire was ending, and the era of human expansion was about to reshape the cosmos in ways that would echo through eternity.